with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag. One state, under God, one indivisible.
Mr. Brunjet will lead us in a prayer.
Please join me as I pray. Again, Father, we're thankful for the blessings of this day and just the privilege of living in this great county and this great state and country. And Lord, you don't have to drive very far from here to any big city, and you really appreciate what we have here in Aransas County. And I think about as I drive down Fulton Beach Road and I see the windswept oaks that have been twisted and gnarled by the constant winds and the conditions that they've had to live under. And it's made them very tough and strong. And that's what came to mind this morning as these commissioners face the challenges that lie before this county. And it's like the old Aggie engineer that built the Alaskan Highway said, we do the difficult things immediately. The impossible things just take a little longer. And for these commissioners, I just pray that you develop them and you mold them like those oak trees that can withstand the storms that are put on their shoulders, and they make decisions that benefit this county and make this county stronger and a better place to live for all the citizens that live here. We trust you, Lord, that you'll empower them and give them that vision and that wisdom and that strength. And we just trust you this morning in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Right. I want to welcome everybody here. And at this time, roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Here.
Commissioner Casterline,
Here.
Commissioner Dukenit,
Here.
Judge Garza.
Here. Let the record show that we do have a quorum. Ooh. At this time, are there any citizens to be heard? Madam Clerk?
No, there's
Nobody?
not. Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to presentations and proclamations. Item number 1. Do we have a motion? Do we have a motion on this?
Move to approve the issuance of proclamation P09/2023, declaring June 2023 as Elder Abuse Prevention Month. Aransas
Second.
County.
Got a motion, we got a second.
All right, Judge Commissioners, this is Proclamation 09/2023. Whereas people who are elderly or have disabilities have contributed to the general welfare of Aransas County by helping to preserve customs, convictions, and traditions of many people from diverse backgrounds. And whereas these residents are vital and integral members of our society, and their wisdom and experience have enriched our lives. And whereas abuse of the elderly and people with disabilities in domestic and institutional settings is a widespread problem affecting hundreds of thousands of people across the country. And whereas in 2023, there were 119,448 completed cases of elderly and disabled persons abuse in Texas, of which 84,655 were confirmed. And whereas elder abuse is grossly underreported because the elderly who are being abused find it very difficult to tell anyone and are usually ashamed and sometimes afraid. And whereas elder abuse happens to men and women of all income levels, all cultural and ethnic groups, whether they are in good health or incapacitated in some way, in poor neighborhoods and in suburbia. And whereas many of the cases investigated by Adult Protective Services in Texas involve self-neglect, and it is our duty as citizens to reach out to people in need. Now, therefore, we, the Commissioners Court of Aransas County, do hereby proclaim the month of June 2023 to be Elder Abuse Prevention Month in Aransas County, and urge all citizens to work together to help reduce abuse and neglect of people who are elderly or have disabilities. And is there anyone here from Adult Protective Services? Yes, sir. You'd like to come up?
Take a
Wanna-
picture.
Yeah.
Oh, should we vote first? Yeah.
Sorry.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Nice to meet you.
Commissioner Dukenit,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0.
And they will go ahead and present you with the proclamation and take your picture. This is Timothy with Adult Protective
All right.
Services.
We go down there. Here. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, sir. All right, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I would like to,
Second.
I'll second it, I'm sorry. I would like to remove, item 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 for the purpose of, the fact that there are resolutions that deal, with basically structure changes that's unusual, but in very key positions. And I think it's my opinion that we need to, whenever it deals with something like that, that they really ought to be handled as individual items. And so with that, I would make a sub-motion that says that we remove 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 from the consent agenda and handle them separately.
All right, before we vote, I just want to recognize and acknowledge that a donation from Cattails Rescue and the total amount of, and this is with services and vaccines and medical tests, total amount of $3,187.90. And we also have a donation from Another Chance RFT, volunteer hours and their services totaling $6,191 for the month of April. Let's go and vote, and we'll pull 9 through 13.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Dukenyak,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0. We'll move on to item number 9.
Judge,
Yes,
if we're removing those, are we able to approve them this commissioner's court?
yes. Oh, yeah, well,
But
we're just
further
gonna hear them
down,
separately.
okay,
Yes, ma'am.
I move to approve on item number 9. I move to approve, let me get my glasses. Resolution number R 12/2023, a resolution approving Aransas County investment policy, no changes in annual review or adoption.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second? You want to add anything to that, Madam?
no, the resolution is to approve it, which we do annually. The changes are on the next ones.
All right. Do you have any questions about this one? Any questions? No? Let's go and take a vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Dukenyak,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, that one passes 4-0. Let's move on to item number 10.
I move to approve resolution R 13/2023, a resolution appointing Alma Cartwright, County Treasurer, and Patricia Randall, Chief Deputy Treasurer, as investment officers to invest Aransas County's funds in accordance with the Aransas County investment policy.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second? Would you like to add anything to this, Madam
So
Treasurer?
Patricia did just complete in April, the TAC has a County Investment Academy. And so she did pass the test on that. And so I would like for her to be one of the investment officers. She deals with the paperwork, the spreadsheets and whatnot already. So she's familiar with everything that we do.
All right. Any questions? All right, let's vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Dukenyak,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0. Item number 11.
Move to approve resolution R 14/2023, a resolution acknowledging the broker dealers list as being authorized to provide investment services to Aransas County.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second? Would you like to add?
So I'm adding one, Sam Bond, which I know personally, and so there was a couple that I removed that I have never dealt with, so I took them off the list. I will get certifications from all of the broker dealers that they accept our investment policy and our procedures.
Emma, I just had one quick question on that is, whenever we do the brokers dealers list, do we seek do we once a year, or once every couple of years, send out some sort of proposal, request for proposal or something for?
That is something that it normally isn't like going out for bids or anything like that, request for proposals. I meet people that are in the county investment
Mhm.
industry, if you want to say that. at the treasurers conference and the investment conferences. And so if somebody new comes in, I review them through other peers, other treasurers that use them and get to know them, trust them.
So you do vet them,
Pardon?
you do vet them.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
good. I just was wondering because I know
Not through a procedure like request for proposals or anything like
it's
that.
part of your job.
Mhm.
Okay, you do a good job, by the way.
Excuse me, all of them are off an approved list. You only have a limited list to work with also, correct?
Right, there's not that many that deal with public funds in counties. So like I said, most of them come to our conferences and present themselves. They do a lot of the training for us. So you know what they know what they're talking about.
Good. Good deal.
Any further questions? All right, let's vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0. Item number 12.
Move to approve resolution R 15/2023, a resolution amending authorized representatives of the tax pool investment pool to add Patricia Randall as an additional authorized representative.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second?
So we have 6 different investment pools that I use in order to put somebody on there. Text pool, and then the next item, Lone Star Investments, they do require resolutions from the commissioners to add her to be able to have access online.
All right, any questions? Let's go and vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0. Item number 13.
I move to approve authorizing the county judge to execute authorized representative ad form with Lone Star Investment Pool, adding Patricia Randall as an authorized representative and removing all prior inactive representatives.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second?
Same thing.
Same thing, different investment pool.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Thank you.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0. Thank you, Madam Treasurer. We'll move on to number 14.
I move to approve the Rockport Cultural Arts District first quarter report for 2023.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second? Good morning, Ms. Day.
Good morning. It's great to be here. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Okay. So this is the first quarter 2023 Cultural Arts District report. This shows the zip code collection outside of 75 miles, 52%, and the relative areas those individuals, those visitors came. And then within 75 miles is 48%. Total of 86 room nights were countable. There were probably more than that. However, some folks don't put more than one day or don't put anything on that date other than we know they were there that day. So anyway, the depot is looking fantastic. If you haven't been inside it, we've gotten some fantastic artifacts, a lot of donations, and it is become quite a little hub. We have our own little passenger train. If you haven't seen that yet, it's a lot of fun. And we'll have that running this weekend as well. So we're open now 3 days a week. And we are also working with GLO and Clean Coast, Texas to add a cistern to the depot property. Cistern was very likely there at some time in the past, over the past 100 years, and we're going to add that back. We also added a new HVAC system and we weatherproof the back room. So we're opening that up as an area now for displays. We hosted the Texas Historical Foundation in January. Quite a crew that came up from Austin. We also hosted the Texas Tropical Trails. There's our little train. It was a lot of fun. It was a walking tour and showcased some of our historic properties within the Cultural Arts District. This is a lot of fun. This is in October. For 4 days, we're going to have over 100 Ford Model Ts here in this area. It's going to be quite a special time. And all of these folks are going to be coming from outside of 75 miles. So we're partnering with La Quinta and Hampton and Fairfield. We're partnering with a lot of different restaurants to feed these guys. And it's just going to be a very fun time. Okay, this is really here to showcase the heritage we have. You know, out of 254 counties within the state of Texas, Aransas County is the second smallest county in the state of Texas, but it holds some of the richest heritage, Texas heritage of all the counties. And you zoom in on that, the Cultural Arts District is only 44 blocks, but we have currently 20 state historical markers, and we have one national register property, and that's Hoops House. So we've added one national designated historic property in January, and that was the Brocht House, Leopold M. Brocht House. And the current state historical markers are two of them. So we will have 22 Texas markers and 2 nationally recognized properties within those 44 blocks. Why that's important is we've got a lot of heritage initiatives that are coming down the pipe, and pretty cool stuff. And we'll share that with you in future quarter reports. We added a new mural to the district, which is fantastic. A lot of color here, and it just really changed the south entrance into the Rockport downtown area. And that's in addition to the existing murals that attract a tremendous amount of folks. The bird mural lists the birds we have here. It's local to Rockport Fulton area. And we also have the Art Colony mural that Steve Russell did. We're continuing to add murals. We've got three other places identified, so they're on their way. Okay, I think we all know the 88th state legislation is going on. For the first time ever, the Cultural Arts District have a line item budget of $10 million. Never happened before, so that was pretty cool. An additional $5 million for cultural districts has been asked by the Texas Commission on the Arts, as well as $3 million, and that's for arts, any arts organization. It doesn't have to be located within the cultural district. At one point, it was approved by the House, but not fully by the Senate. We reached out to Lois Colkhurst, and I'm happy to say, as of Monday last week, those have both been approved by the special group that was put together. Lois Colkhurst was on that special group and awaiting for Governor Abbott's signature. So that now is $15 million specifically designated to cultural districts within the state of Texas. There are 52 cultural districts in the state of Texas, and qualifying entities within those physically located within those cultural districts are eligible for that $15 million in this next legislation, which is 2024-2026 time period. Also hosted Ann Graham and Chris Kiley. Ann is the executive director for the Texans for the Arts. She's and her group advocate with the legislature, hosted her here and Chris, building very strong advocacy between her organization and the Cultural Arts District. And we wined and dined and took them around and also showcased some studios of Steve Russell and Diane Johnson. And we'll be coming back for the art festival. So that's really great. Again, continuing that relationship and that advocacy and the visibility at a state level of our cultural district. So through the Cultural Arts District program, the Center for the Arts has received over $100,000 in the past years. The current art festival that's coming up in a few weeks, the the Center for the Arts got $35,000 to support that festival. And they've applied again for next year's festival as well. So it's a very good avenue for additional funding to support our arts organizations. We're also working with Rockport Little Theater for them to start receiving cultural district grants. And you can see here, I'm here with Todd Hunter in his office in Austin representing Aransas County Day. Cultural interface. This is coming up pretty soon. We've been working on this project for 3 years. It's a little under $500,000 project. And it celebrates the multicultural heritage of Aransas County, the Spanish and French explorers, early religious settlers, and the Native Americans. It's a partnership between the Navigation District and the Cultural Arts District. And we're projecting this to be complete and unveil in fall of this year. It is expected to attract a tremendous amount of tourists. This is a redesign of the sculpture placements. There were originally 3 sculptures on one area with 3 on another that faced each other. However, we've changed that around at Steve's request, and they will all be placed together at Little Bay. And this is a current survey that Jerry Brundrett, thank you, Jerry, very much, provided for us with the change. Again, it's located right at 35 and across from the festival grounds right at Little Bay. It'll be quite an attraction. Also, what will help with the grandioseness of it is the height of the sculpture. It will be 21 feet high, the base being 12 feet, and then the sculpture's 9 feet. And there's our illustrious Steve Russell. So this particular sculpture specifically focuses on our cultural heritage and showcases and preserves our history. Other initiatives. So this was something that was a collaboration between the Aransas County Historical Society, the Aransas County Historical Commission, and the History Center for Aransas County, along with the Chamber of Commerce and the Cultural District, the Smithsonian Museum on Main Street. It's a national exhibit that will be partnered with our local history and exhibits. And we've been talking with John Strothman about having this be in the new community building there on the government complex. This will attract a tremendous amount of people. We will have the answer if we are selected within the next 2 weeks. So we're really excited about that. It will be in the January-March period of time, a 6-week period of time, January-March of 2025. We've also revised the second Saturdays. We've had them for several years, and we've added theme monthly events. We provide live music and artists. We collaborate and continue to collaborate as we have with the district merchants. We provide social media and videography. If you haven't seen the video from the April second Saturday, it's pretty fantastic. Hope you get a chance to look at that on our Facebook page. We have the depot open at that time, the museum and the passenger train, and farmers market and makers market also, in addition to the art walk, are part of that second Saturday. District merchant meeting, second Saturday. Social media, our Facebook continues to grow, both for our regular Facebook page and our depot page. Social media continue to have showcased. This is Donica showcasing the Whiskey Palm, our new business in the district. This is our financials for the quarter. And last, thank you very much. Do we have any questions? Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0. Item number 15.
I move to approve Mont McDonald's recommendation to award construction contract for Holiday Beach improvements in the county's general land office community development block grant disaster relief contract number 20-065-098 C 270 to LCR Total Transport in the amount of $3,499,825.70. Award, authorizing the county judge to execute all necessary documents.
Second.
A motion, got a second. Mr. Reed, good morning.
This is number 7 of our 8 CDBG-DR projects. Any questions?
When do we start?
I have several more on the agenda, so I'll stay here.
All right,
David, does this also include that little bit in Lamar also on this project?
This is not in Lamar. This is Holiday Beach
Holiday
only,
Beach, but
both,
there's
both sides of the
Okay.
highway though. Yes,
the loop, the St. Charles Loop, and then those areas on the west side.
correct.
Okay.
all right. No question.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0. Item number 16.
I move to approve Mont McDonald's recommendation to award construction contract for Southwest Aransas County drainage improvements in the county's general land office community development block grant disaster relief CDBG-DR contract 20-065-098 C 270 to LCR Total Transportation in the amount of $3,990,785, authorizing the county judge to execute all necessary documents.
I'll second that.
This is project number 8, and this will be the final CDBG-DR project. Tentatively, the final.
And this is in southwest part of the county, west of the bypass.
West of bypass, correct.
All right, no questions. Vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0. Item number 17.
Move to approve correcting contract amount awarded to Gerke excavating at the Commissioners Court meeting on March 27th, 2023. Price on the March 27th, 23 agenda was listed at $1,553,883.04. Actual contract price is $2,265,183.19. Project is for Linden Street drainage improvements from the general land office, community development block grant disaster relief contract 20-065-098 C 270.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second?
Okay, the first time this was awarded, it had the wrong number on it. The intent was to have all the alternates, and this priced 2 million and change. We'll have all of the alternates that we were wanting.
The first price didn't include all of them.
Correct.
All right,
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
aye, passes 4-0. Item number 18.
I move to approve the adoption of resolution R-16-2023, a resolution of the Commissioners Court of Aransas County, Texas, selecting and hiring contractors to perform work necessary for 8 drainage and road improvement projects funded through the General Land Office Community Development Block Grant Disaster Relief, contract number 20-065-098 C 270. Authorizing the county judge to execute necessary documents, providing for servability and confirming compliance with the Texas Open Meetings Act.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second?
I just, we've been doing this back and forth and, tell me how, just in real brief, I know how to do it, but just for the public, tell me how we selected the people to do this. I mean, just real quick. How do we select who we?
We went out for bids. We analyzed the bids after they were received and selected the lowest best bid.
Okay, and we have citizens that are not employees of the county or elected representatives for the county. We have general employees that to some degree that are on these committees, right? I'm just looking at transparency.
The bids were just plain, we sent out the information, contractors bid on it.
And y'all
There
just
wasn't,
assessed it.
yeah, the review was done by the engineer that we had already selected, Bob McDonald in this case.
Okay,
I had a question on page 2 of the resolution because of a discrepancy on the amounts on,
Yes, sir. I believe that what you have just is penciled in as the correct amount for the contract of the 2 million
Okay.
on Linden, as well as the contractor is Gerke instead of Anderson.
okay,
Or, well, it wasn't Anderson, I don't know what the name was.
because on the document, I wrote that different amount in there, but I wasn't sure, but it is,
Yes,
it
sir.
is a Gerke also.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right,
Commissioner Cheney,
aye,
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Dukenyak,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
aye, passes 4-0. Item number 19,
Move to approve a request for variance on county subdivision regulations on the minimum lot size requirement to replat 1609 South Terry Street from 2 lots into 1.
I'll second that.
This is a replat for
Morning.
the variance is to allow the replat for septic compliance. Are there any questions?
Kind of a normal deal that we're making one bigger lot out of 2 lots.
Yes, sir. We're going from less compliant to more compliant.
I'll tell you, just a suggestion, on the division took off, if you could do a different color on that. I mean, I looked all over that thing trying to figure out what the difference was and I finally saw that little blue line. Okay, so if you could make that a different color, just for old people like me to be able to distinguish it a little better.
Got the next ones.
all right, thank you so much.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye,
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Dukenyak,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0. Item number 20,
Go ahead, Bob.
I move to approve partnering with Aransas First Land Trust Development and submitting a pre-proposal to seek National Oceanographic Atmospheric Administration based out of Gulf of Mexico Energy Security Act funds.
Second.
got a motion, got a second?
Just a few points. This is a request to authorize us to develop and submit a pre-proposal. We will come back to the Commissioners Court before a full application is submitted. This particular grant, there is no match required. However, it does help us if there is additional funds provided, which is something we're discussing with Aransas First. The property that we are looking at was included as an attachment with the agenda. And it is already under a conservation easement. And so the goal would be for us to be able to incorporate the property into our stormwater management system.
I was looking at this somewhere. I've been concerned down in Rattlesnake Road. Really, we have Rattlesnake Road entrance and we have the sagebrush as a secondary entrance. And I know this Robbins Lane goes down into some of the property. Would there be a opportunity maybe sometime without conflicting with the agreement to maybe tie a county road back in there toward that area? Or would that might be a question for David maybe, or?
Well, I know that the goal, the long-term goal is for us to be able to create these paths to have connectivity Right now, Robbins Pacing is not scheduled to become a road, but what we're hoping is to be able to develop the stormwater conveyance and be able to pass that to a developer so that at the time, whenever it is developed, there will be drainage infrastructure there. So if there is a roadway, that we would be able to provide that.
Okay, would still allow that, okay. Did anybody from Aransas first want to speak?
In fact, we have several people from Aransas first, if y'all have any questions.
No questions? Would you like to speak, Dr. Matthews?
I'm Earl Matthew with Aransas First. This has a conservation easement on it with the North American Land Trust. But it was got a checkered history in terms of property for conservation because it was part of a syndicated easement. And there's limited building sites on it, which are okay. And the first half of that easement is great, but the second part of it says that the easement portions can be sold off in little tiny portions for mitigation. And that's the real danger of this property being ruined in the future. It'd be so difficult to actually even meet the standards of that easement if it all gets divvied up into 40 or 50 owners of the conservation area, not just the building sites. And as Jerry said, we all live here for a reason. And Coastal Plains, not one of our prettiest areas, but it preserves the estuary, one of the major estuaries into Copano Bay. It'll be a great site for birding if we wanted to make it that in the future. It'll have to be limited, I think, because you're going to have limited entrance to it. And it's a big property, so I don't think you want to have unlimited entrance into it. But it's really there to preserve and to create. There's a bunch of aspects of the Go Mesa grants, which this thing meets. It's one for public access, which we can do in a limited way and actually make it useful for us. It'll be a non-point source pollution control device. It's preserving coastal habitat, which is what the whole GLO program for the coast is about at this point in time. Coastal storm and hydrology protection and infrastructure protection of adjacent stuff that's had 7 or 8 foot of water over it on top of the 0 to 6 foot elevation that it had during the storm surge of Harvey. So not having a lot of structures built out on this area is going to be beneficial. But like I said, this is a site that attracts birds, and birds are what attract our tourists. And it's a major economic benefit, I think, if we preserve it for the future.
Thank you. Appreciate it. No further questions. Let's vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0. Let's move on to item number 21.
I move to approve resolution R10, 2023. A resolution approving interlocal cooperation agreement between Aransas County and Harris County Department of Education, enabling the county to participate in the HCDE Choice Partners National Cooperative, a purchasing cooperative authorizing the county judge to execute all necessary documents and providing for a repealer and a severability, confirming the compliance with Texas Open Meetings Act and establishing an effective date.
Second.
Got a motion? Got a second? Ms. Jackie, would you like to add to this?
While I was at conference a couple of weeks ago, we did meet this company that is another one of the co-ops that we can work with on purchasing it. They do all of the bidding and all of the back work, and this would allow us to have another avenue for purchasing.
And so it's a key time to do something like that with the upcoming furnishing of the courthouse.
Yes, sir. We actually have, Mr. Strothman has already been working with another co-op
Okay,
for that stuff, for the courtrooms.
okay,
But this would give us another tool in our toolbox.
thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions? All right, let's vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Dukenyak,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0. Item number 22.
I
I
move to approve.
Go ahead.
I move to approve resolution R 11-2023 to select and hire Mammoth Foundation repair for the American Rescue Plan Act diesel generator project to supply and install equipment to serve the animal care and agri-life buildings for the amount of $187,523.60, authorizing the county judge to execute necessary documents.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second?
Yes, we did go out for bids on this. We had it engineered and I think the engineers are here if you have any questions for them. But we did go out for bids. They did review them and Mammoth was the best bid for the county. And the amount, this will be paid with ARPA funds, with the American Rescue Act funds. It's not going to be out of general fund or anything. We'll be using ARPA funds for the purchase of it.
There will be no county funds used for this.
No, sir, it will all be ARPA funds.
Gonna be a structure, huh?
Just a generator.
Yeah, well, I understand that. I'm talking about, it's gonna be a pretty significant structure.
I'm sure there's a base. I don't know if there's any.
Is it gonna be
It
similar to what's at the
enclosed or-
courthouse?
The engineers are going to have to answer that one.
I'm just wondering if it'll be somewhat similar.
Morning, sir.
Good morning. My name is Daniel Perez. I'm with ICE International Consulting Engineers. What was your question, sir?
Okay, have you seen the way that the thing's done at the courthouse, the generator pad?
I have not.
It's, of course, it's probably higher than what needs to be out there, but I mean, it's gonna be a really solid pad. and everything.
Yes, sir. Just
Yeah,
concrete
'cause
foundation.
That's pretty expensive concrete pad.
Most of the cost is for the generator itself.
Well,
and the
yeah, I
elec-
understand that, but it's still pretty expensive. I just trying to get a feel for it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Dukenyak,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0. Item number 23.
Move to approve amendment number 2 to the airport drainage project agreement with the Texas Department of Transportation, CSJ number 2116 RCKPT to reconstruct a drain and repair a sinkhole to increase the total grant award from $327,000 to $644,263 with a local match requirement of $4,797. That is within the airport's fiscal year grant project budget.
Got a motion?
I move to approve that. No, I got a second.
Got a motion, got a second. Is Mike not here today? Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I could read the background on this.
Is this the same hole that was on the pad, or have we had the second sinkhole?
No, sir, this is the same sinkhole. It's the same grant. The cost, since the time when they did estimate this one, the costs have gone up, so it has increased. And our portion of it is going to be another $44,797.
Okay,
But it is the same project.
well, had they repaired it before and this is a
No,
repair?
sir. No, sir.
What'd they
Just
do?
with the process, it has taken a while, as we know.
Yeah,
And
Okay.
just with the increase in costs, this is what the costs have.
okay. All right, thank you.
I'm going to read the background information just for the record. Late 2020 and early 2021, the state of Texas, Aransas County Commissioners Court authorized a project estimated to cost $327,000, which would repair a sinkhole in the main ramp to the Aransas County Airport. Due to unforeseen delays such as the pandemic and supply chain issues, the project was delayed until recently when TxDOT made the concerted effort to get it completed. The project initially went out for bid September 2022, but no bids were submitted. TxDOT representatives determined that since 2 years had passed since the initial approval of the project, costs associated with the project likely increased significantly and more money may be necessary to fund the work. In January 2023, TxDOT put the project out for bid once again, and the lowest bid considerably exceeded the previous cost estimate. TxDOT representatives, with the goal of moving forward with the project, had to go back to Texas Transportation Commission to request additional funding. Subsequently, the total project grant was approved for $664,263 with a required match of $4,797. You have any other questions? All right, let's go and vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0. Item number 24.
I move to approve authorizing the county judge to sign the airport coronavirus response grant plan agreement with the Federal Aviation Administration, which program is funded through the coronavirus response and relief supplemental appropriations authorized by Congress in 2020, and which program will reimburse Aransas County Airport for up to $13,000 for qualified optional expenses. Operational expenses.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? Can you tell us about this one, Jackie? I can read the background.
Please, because I'm not really sure except what the motion says.
All right. So Mike Gear is he's in jury duty. I'm going to read the background information. The purpose of this grant is to prevent, prepare for, and respond to coronavirus. Funds provided under this grant must only be used for the purposes directly related to the airport and shall be provided to such covered airport using this grant, which include the terms, conditions, and assurances attached. Such purposes can include the reimbursement of the airport's costs related to the operations, personnel, cleaning, sanitation, janitorial services, and combating the spread of the pathogens in accordance with the limitations prescribed in the act, and incurred no earlier than January 2020. This grant may also be used to reimburse a sponsor's payment of debt service where such payments occurred on or after December 27th, 2020. Funds provided under this grant will not be governed by the same principles that govern airport revenue. New airport development projects not directly related to combating the spread of the pathogens may not be funded with this grant.
Jackie, I would think it says reimbursement, so I'm sure the airport had expenses that were eligible for reimbursement during the COVID episode.
I would anticipate that they did have some, and that's why they're asking to approve this so they can get reimbursed for those.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0. Item number 25.
I move to approve the issuance of a request for proposals for construction services for the Bay Shore Drive Shoreline Stabilization Project, which is funded by a grant award from the U.S. Department of the Treasury and administered through the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality as set forth in grant contract number 582-21-22184.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second. Mr. Schrothman. Good morning.
Good morning. The long drawn out project of Bay Shore Drive is finally at the point of requesting proposals to hire a contractor to do the work. So at this point, that's what this is about, is we're ready to post this and move forward.
Perfect. Any questions for John? All right, let's vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0. Item number 26.
Move to approve use of available Aransas County Gulf of Mexico Security Act or GOMESA funds to pay for local match required for the Coastal Erosion Planning and Response Act Cycle 13 application for regulatory assistance to support a Cedar Bayou U.S. Army Corps of Engineers permit amendment, which if approved will create an upland dredge material placement area, enabling the beneficial use of dredge material to help mitigate shoreline erosion using the material dredged from Aransas
It should be Cedar Bayou.
National Wildlife Refuge, Cedar Bayou, and Vincent Slough. Okay.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning. Aaron Hornine from Mott McDonald is with me, so he'll answer the technical questions. Basically, in the process of doing the dredge operation from last year and the year before last, the question came up about, can we do this more efficiently and less expensive? And the Aransas Wildlife Refuge folks offered up to say, look, we would like to have a place, we would like to have the spoils, the dredge spoils placed on Matagorda Island, which is a lot shorter distance to pump the material than pump it a mile up the beach on the past family property. So this has gone through a number of different back and forth, and the Wildlife Refuge is applying for a KEPA grant to get the permits, to do the engineering, to do that. So they have come to us for Go Mesa funds as their match or a part of their match. The funds would be no more than $47,000. And so that's what this request is to ask for the Go Mesa funds so they can go for a KEPA grant and meet the time, which I understand now is June, first part of June. Is that correct? So that is what they're asking for today and we're asking for.
And John, there's not an issue with this since this site is in Calhoun County and not Aransas County?
I do not think so. Is there?
No, there shouldn't be. No, there shouldn't be. And then just a little more of the background, back in the previous cycle of KEPA, it comes every 2 years. We just missed the boat to try to get it in at that point too. We were trying to do it back at that point, and we actually had some of the design done and had it in the contract for 21. We just didn't know if we were going to have the amendment done by that point, and obviously we didn't. But this is really, a really good way to reuse this material, because as John mentioned, all this material historically and in the permit goes down on the beach. It gets a mile down the beach, gets out of the system, where this way it's a win-win situation, because we can remove the material and then it goes to help erosion on the backside of Matagorda Island. And on top of that, it potentially will allow for a smaller dredging event, because we can get a contractor that can come down from the refuge, hit little hot spots. So we're not talking about a large scale $6-7 million project or something. We're talking about something that's a fraction of that, at least to do interim maintenance events. So it's really going to help out the process. And really, this is just to get that amendment in place. So then moving forward, we can look at that as another option.
Appreciate it. Thank you, gentlemen. Any further questions?
Commissioner,
I just got one real quick question. How is Vincent Slough and Cedar Bayou doing after
it's doing
we've had
great.
the heavy rains and stuff?
Yeah, no, it looks great. I was up there about a month ago, and then the satellite images that I've been following, everything's flowing. It's really good. Everybody's pretty excited about it still.
The fish coming in?
Fish are coming in. Yeah, guides are going out.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Dukenyak,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0. Item number 27.
I move to approve entering into a memorandum of understanding with AEP Texas to participate in the 2023 SCORE City Smart Program, an incentive program to improve energy efficiency in the county facilities at no cost to the county, and authorize the county judge to sign all necessary documents.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second. Is Mr. Tyler Wolf here?
He's on Zoom.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, if you have any questions for him. let him-
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for allowing me to be part of this today.
What exactly is this program?
It's an energy efficiency incentive program that's sponsored and promoted by AEP Texas. You know, you guys purchase energy from some retail electric provider of your choosing, but the utility company who produces the energy actually transmits it to your meters and manages those meters is AEP. And so there are cash incentives available to AEP meter users for any project that improves energy efficiency on the grid. The specific projects that kind of brought me to you guys this year were the new courthouse building and the new community center building that are being built currently. But there are incentives available for those two new construction facilities. And so those are the initial projects that I'm kind of bringing to the county's attention as part of the incentive program. But in the future, if you guys are doing retrofit type projects where you're replacing old lights or you're replacing old air conditioning equipment, maybe a roof, there are incentives available for those types of projects as well. So that's kind of the whole program in a nutshell.
So this is not just for this this short time span. It's from now until AEP stops or the state stops or the Fed stops it.
That's correct. And it's been around since 2007.
2007?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Just
Sounds like a
to,
good deal.
I'm sorry, to let you know, we did join in this in 2017 when we did LED lights in the old courthouse and received some rebates from that. We've also talked to Mr. Wolf about some new hangers and some new HVAC equipment that we've installed. So we have been working, Renee and I have been working with him a little bit. We do have a meeting scheduled tomorrow to kind of do a kickoff once y'all approve this so that we can see what all qualifies and what kind of, it's a win-win for the county. I mean, it's not any cost to us and it will generally get us some rebates.
Okay. Is there a limit? Obviously, there's a limit to the rebate. Is it based on the cost of the project or the type of project?
That's one of the things that Mr. Wolf will be doing is coming down and evaluating that, and he can explain better what his procedure is on it.
Yeah, so the limit is actually on the amount of incentive per partner per year. So for the county for Aransas County, the limit would be 1/3 of the overall program budget, which is $378,720. So 1/3 of that is roughly $135,000 in incentive that the county could maximize at. It does take quite a bit of projects to get to that number, but you guys could do it. You know, I mean, if I think about all the buildings that you have, it would take a lot for you guys to get to that maximum. But it's $200 per kilowatt saved for LEDs and chillers, $150 per kilowatt saved for every other measure. And it can go all the way up to $135,000 per year.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0. Item number 28.
I move to approve the purchase of a skid steer and mulching head attachment from P&D Trucking in the amount of $75,000, consisting of $60,000 base for the skid steer and $15,000 for the mulching head attachment, and authorizing the county judge to execute necessary documents.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second. Mr. Reed.
So we did go out for bid for this. This was the low bid. It was the only bid. This is a good price. I think it's in a good piece of equipment. I recommend accepting it.
And it will be used heavily.
I'm sorry?
It will be used.
It will be used probably
It's necessary.
tomorrow, as soon as you write the check.
All right. Any other questions for David?
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0. Item number 29.
I move to approve authorizing county judge to sign a memorandum of understanding agreement with Ag Fuel Corp. for the use of a refuel truck during Airport Memorial Day fly-in event.
Second.
Commissioners, I believe that Mr. Gear followed up with us late Friday and said that Ag Fuel Corp is no longer interested in entering into this particular MOU. So I would ask that the Commissioners Court just go ahead and remove this item from the agenda, and perhaps we'll come up with an agreement to bring back to you later on.
Yeah, I would move to remove the item.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second? Let's go and vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Castellane.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0 to remove. And was there a problem with number 30?
No, sir. We originally thought that we would be able to pull this, but we do need to go ahead and take action on it.
Okay,
We had thought that there was some co-op that would be involved in this, but after doing some vetting, we did realize that there is not, so we need to go ahead and approve or vote on this one.
all right, we have a motion for number 30.
I move to approve resolution R 17/2023 to select and hire T. Baker Smith LLC for the American Rescue Plan Act, Aransas County Detention Center Water Tank Project. Provide necessary engineering and architectural services and authorizing the county judge to execute necessary documents.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second?
Do we have an estimate of the cost?
No, sir, this is just for engineering, and we
Design it.
will have to negotiate on that.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Castellane,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0.
Move to approve the April 2023 treasurer report.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second, Madam Treasurer? Good morning.
Does anybody have any question on the balances?
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Castellane.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0. Item number 32.
Move to approve authorizing the Aransas County Treasurer to sign a promissory note and disbursement request and authorization for a one-year extension ending in May 31st, 2024 of the irrevocable standby letter of credit number 1973 issued through Prosperity Bank, covering the financial assurance of the Aransas County Transfer Station in the amount of $10,200, which is required by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality.
Could you explain this to me? I didn't quite
We
understand.
got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we got a second.
Sure. So this is an annual renewer. TCEQ requires a financial assurance. We do it through the form of a letter of credit with our depository bank. If the county up and leaves the property and doesn't bring the environmental ground or whatnot up to their standards, then the financial part of it kicks in, so to say.
So what, is there an alternative? I'm assuming maybe that would be that you would have to send them a check for $10,200.
Actually, there's a promissory note that I have signed that is standing with the bank. So that's what the letter of credit is about. So if we default on cleaning up the property and abandon it, the promissory note kicks in and the bank assures them the $10,200, and thus the county would owe that money back to the bank.
When you say cleaning up a property, are you talking about when we have to go out and maybe to clean up a public person's property, or is that?
No, that's the transfer station property
Transfer
itself. If
station,
we
that's
were
what I was
to,
confused
if
about.
we were to abandon it and not do the required cleanup, so to say, of it.
Be a pretty cheap cleanup job.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. But I never vote for abandoning it. You could bet on that.
No, and that's why I don't worry when I sign that promissory note. We're not leaving it.
All right.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Castellane.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0. Item number 33.
I move to approve the budget line item transfers for the 2022 budget.
Second.
23.
You got some?
No, sir, we don't have any, but I would state that that is the 2023.
That's what I was.
budget.
wondering about that, yeah.
Correction, that is 2023. That's what I was looking at.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Dukenyak,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0. Item number 34.
I move to approve accounts payable and payroll liabilities. Second.
They, most of the accounts payable are routine. We do have some capital projects, grant works for various projects that they're working on for us for $3,990.27. DLF, who is the contractor for the community building, it's for $164,387.59. And Parkway Chevrolet for Stone Garden for vehicles and radar equipment for under the Stone Garden grant of $102,174.58. We also have for the downtown anchor, the courthouse, Broadus, who is our construction manager agent, invoice for $10,451.93. I can answer any questions on anything else that y'all may have. Those are the ones that I really wanted to point out.
No questions.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Dukenyak,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 4-0. At this time, we'll hear reports from commissioners, elected officials, and department heads. No action will be taken. Anybody have anything?
Yeah, I just want to, as always, I take my weekly and sometimes daily trip out to the transfer station. It's really looking good, and the people out there are incredibly friendly. And if you haven't, or if you're not using that facility, you ought to. It's really a very good asset for the county. I don't think you'll find anyone around that does a better job than what we do. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Just wanted to remind people hurricane season will be coming up on us pretty soon, and I wanted to thank the Lamar Fire Department. They just conducted 2 training classes for hurricane preparedness, and I think they're looking at having a 3rd one. And just want to encourage members of the community. We have a lot of people who have moved into the community since Hurricane Harvey struck the area, and we need to make sure everybody is prepared for that. And also I wanted to congratulate the Rockport Volunteer Fire Department. They just had their awards banquet and recognize several members, quite a few members, for their participation and their leadership and their response time. So congratulations to them also.
Thank you. Anybody else?
And just a question on that, on the back on the hurricane preparedness. I don't know, I've never noticed in the past, but have we ever put a public notice out when we're going to have one of those and invite the general public to that? Because I think that'd be a very good thing for us to do, because
I know Lamar, they actually put it on Facebook and Nextdoor. And for the fire department there, it was open to the general public. They didn't get the response they had hoped for, and thought maybe some of the things for graduation, everything else going on right now. So they're gonna, right now, their thoughts are to have one later in the year, but that might be something, or late, a few weeks down the line, but might be something our emergency manager might want to look at.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we ought to, over time, we ought to get the public to kind of know when we're going to do some of this stuff to get them more involved, because that's what it's really for. Is to let the average person, or that's one of the main reasons, is to let the average person know what to do, when to start doing it, when you need to evacuate or whatever, but just understanding what the key points are to that. As I've said before, right after we had Harvey, we were all talking to different organizations and stuff, but one of the key questions that they asked me, they said, how come Rockport and Aransas County fare so well being hit so hard? And I said, because we've been practicing for 40 years. And that was true. And we held it within the county and the city and the town and the school district and everything.
And we were all ready for it, but the general population was not. And I think we need to maybe start looking at that, doing once a year or twice a year, before we go into hurricane season, and if we have a storm of any kind, after we get out of hurricane season, to do a recap on things we could do better and things that we did well. And I'd like for that to just become a policy of the court to, it's sometime to put it before the court to see what y'all want to do. But, the more we can inform the public, the better off we are.
All right, appreciate it. Some really good ideas. We're gonna move on to reports about items of community interest. Again, no action will be taken. Anybody have anything? No, all right. Do we need to go to closed session? All right. So, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
A motion, got a second?
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Castellane,
Aye.
Commissioner Dukenyak,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.